Welcome to Invest. We'll talk about investing, finance, or professional development. As a recording time of approximate market closing time at 3:53 p.m. on Eastern Time, Ethereum country at $2,616, about 7.65% so far. As you can see clearly on the crypto market, we are bright red all over again. Seems like this is the fourth consecutive losing week, as obviously the Ukraine-Russia war has been cultivating, and despite today's affectation on the job number, seems like it was obviously optimistic, and it kind of, on a minimal perspective beats Wall Street expectations, incrementally, not a lot, right? But despite that positive affectation, the war still overshadows it. And some of the additional negative affectation I'm seeing as well is with respect to more cultivations around the Russian-Ukraine war and the sanction. Seems like with respect to internationally, on the G7 perspective, they imposed more sanctions onto Russia. And also, in addition to that, I'm also seeing on a financial aspects perspective, S&P 500, Dow Jones are all removing Russian stocks from indexes, stripping the country of emerging market status. So it seems like on the financial front, complete cutoff on that aspect. In addition to that, I'm also seeing a tech company cut off with Russia as well. Seems like Facebook is banning access on traffic or just communicative traffic coming out from Russia as well. So it seems like, the war is definitely overshadowing the entire market today, on top of today as the Friday, shifting towards the weekend affectation. We do not know how, obviously, we will transition during this weekend. It seems like the war is rising, and people are definitely fleeing to more safe and affectation, so they typically would hold that cash more close to their heart. Driving the sell across the spectrum, right? So definitely a weekend affectation combined with negative news on the war, combined with a mixture of a minimally positive job numbers that came out. But ultimately, technicals is something that we use to, give ourselves the fundamental understanding on what the quantitatives are saying. And this is something we've been talking about for the last 4 or 5 days so far, that we're still in a bearish sentiment among investors. So without wasting more time, let's just dive into technical analysis and just look at how we're trending right now. So with respect to recording time, we're basically 5 minutes away from market closing. We are currently just levitating around the 2625. This is, again, I'm not making things up, right? And this is numbers that I've been quoting for the last couple of days so far. The reason, though, we're gliding at these levels is because these are technical resistance levels, right? And for those that follows on my Patreon updates, we know these are the levels to look out for, right? And right now, with respect to what we're going to be doing in the next couple of days, right? Firstly, we know that we're forming a def cross slowly with a 42 out of 70. So do we see 2362 as the next level technically? I would say I give that maybe like a 30% probability that will go down there, because this is a relatively large leap down, but we are already at a 42, right? So despite the def cross that will form, obviously we have to form it eventually. We'll basically go halfway, and I think some consolidation around like the 25, or to be more specific, somewhere around like the 2475 would be the next logical level to look into. Wouldn't be surprised if we bounce from there, actually. But 2362 in the relative spectrum, despite the def cross, is a relatively difficult one to reach. But obviously, if it's a really, really negative news on a media front, driving more fear mongering, it could be, definitely a possibility. Respect to Bitcoin, down about 7% as well. We are levitating again. The next level we need to technically get down to will be 37,500. We broke 40, so we are basically levitating at the moment, gliding back down. So ideally, do we see like going all the way down to 34? I think that will be a stretch. But 37,500 is definitely in proximity. Dogecoin down about 5%. Anywhere from basically current level to 10 cents is still logical, right? Cardano down about 6%. Again, this is comparable, it's still oversold, right? Anywhere from current level to 75 cents is still logical. Solana below 90 right now. Let me just take a look at this closely. It seems too far away. So right now, obviously, anywhere that we can be ideally buying at would be anywhere from 85 to 75. I do not see us crashing further because that will not be technically make any sense. But we are relatively depleted. We are curving down, so a depth cross needs to be formed. So 75 again would not be surprising to me. XRP down about 3.4%. It seems like this is a downward wedge in a way. And at the same time, it seems like it's trading on a complete different momentum. So again, for me, 63 to 57 is still where I would place my bet in. Polkadot down about 6%. I like anywhere from basically 16 to 14 from here. ALGORAND's down about 3%. I would say so as well. Like anywhere from current level to 69 is still logical. Shiba Inu is closing in on the low 2000s. We're basically 100 mini cents. I don't even know how to call this. But anywhere from like 2100, 1400, 900 from here. MacTech's about 6% as well. I like anywhere from 143 to 120. So it's definitely closing in. AVAX down about 1%. This is a head and shoulder pattern. So 59 to 50 is definitely coming. Terra is on the verge of selling off right now. I think selling at the moment right now would be a very logical move. If I was you, I would be. Large separation, curving down, basically triple tops that's been formed. That means the market is definitely looking for a reason to sell off, right? So definitely not advisable to be buying at the moment. The risk versus reward ratio is relatively high, right? So that's it for today with respect to this Friday updates. I have my last meeting in basically about 45 minutes. So I have to prepare for it a little bit, but appreciate you for joining me again. And definitely, you know, Wild Wild West out there, but the technicals never lie, right? So, you know, no matter what the meat affectations say, let's just stay focused on the technicals. And the reason that, you know, the work that I'm doing and people really understands, and it surprisingly always falls down to the levels that we identify, is not because I'm a wizard. Again, I do not know any magic, right? I just, you know, do my quantitative analysis and my fundamental analysis really, you know, concisely and very methodically. That allows me to identify those levels and gaps, right? So hopefully you find this helpful, and obviously for those that follow my Patreons, you guys know exactly my methodology on how I break it down. Obviously there's a complexity behind it, but let me know if you have any questions. All right, appreciate you. Have a good Friday. Take care. Bye.